While Tears of the Kingdom adds a bunch of new mechanics to the game, it also adds new upgrade paths and doesn't tell you about them at all. So today we're going to go through the 5 major upgrade paths to improve Link to make your time in Hyrule easier. Let's go. Let me know any tips and tricks you've got in the comments below. So we'll start with the easiest one, and that's hearts or stamina. Now, just like in Breath of the Wild, you will need to go to shrines to collect a particular item. In this case, it is the Light of Blessing, and then trade these items in at prey shrines for either hearts or a stamina container. The initial decision here about which you should pick is a tricky one, but I honestly think for the most part, you should be picking hearts, at least until you've got a fair chunk of hearts, because at the start of the game, you can get one-shot by bombs or any sort of other shenanigans. So it's very easy to die. So the more hearts you have, the more you'll survive. Plus you won't have any strong armor at the beginning. And in terms of stamina, you can actually refresh your stamina even while you're actively using it by either stamina elixirs or by stamina food. So you'll never really run out of stamina, but you'll often run out of hearts and die. To make stamina regen food or elixirs, if you use restless critters with the bokoblin horns, you can make stamina elixirs. And then in terms of food, the simplest food that you'll probably get like early is the stam bulb, and you can just put multiple of these in the cook pot to get stamina regen food. But there is also staminoka bass and some other food items as well that can restore some stamina. But for the most part, the stam bulbs are the easiest one to get, and you can just pop multiple of these in the pot if your purpose for that item is just to increase your stamina while you're climbing or doing things like that. But if you're just looking for shrines, there are tons of them near like the center of Hyrule, and they're the easiest ones to spot. You'll often also find them in the Sky Islands or also in caves. They are all over the place, exactly the same as they were in Breath of the Wild. Upgrading your armor does work the same as it did in Breath of the Wild, in that you'll use the Great Fairies to increase your armor's actual armor rating. However, how you unlock them is entirely different. This is all linked to a particular quest chain, which I guess technically starts at the Woodland Stable, but for the most part before that, you'll need to join the Lucky Clover Gazette as a journalist. In order to do this, you'll need to head up to the Northwestis region. Here, you'll find a stable that's now the home of the Lucky Clover Gazette, like the people that make the newspaper, and when you talk to them, you'll be able to join as a journalist. This will kick off another quest chain as well, specifically linked to them, but we're talking about the armor upgrades here. So after you've done that, head back to the Woodland Stable, and that will actually kick off the quest chain. Now, when you talk to the musical troupe here, they'll tell you that they need to repair their wagon so they can go up and see the Great Fairy that's nearby. In order to do this, you just need to attach some wheels to the wagon, and you'll need to have a horse that can actually pull the wagon so you can pull them up to the Great Fairy. And this is pretty simple to do. You just need a couple of pony points to be able to unlock the harness attachment for a horse. You will have to get a horse, but if you did have a horse in Breath of the Wild and you have a Breath of the Wild save on your Switch, you've already got horses, but you can go and tame one the same as you would have in both of these games. Now, once you've got a horse and you can attach it to the wagon, head up to the Great Fairy. They will sing her a song and she will actually come out, and then you'll be able to upgrade your gear in the same way you would have in Breath of the Wild. Now, you can only upgrade it a little bit here in terms of enhancement level because you haven't unlocked the rest of the Great Fairies. However, when you talk to Tira, she will tell you where you can find the other fairies. They are near stables as well, and you've also got to do a quest for the musicians up there, and they'll ask you to find other of their troupe that have gone missing, and then you'll bring them back, go up to the fairy, and you'll unlock that next Great Fairy as well. So there's 4 of them, just the same as there was in Breath of the Wild. If you're trying to unlock all of them, that's how you start that actual quest chain, and then go to those locations and go and complete them. Next, we have Hestu and those inventory upgrades. Now, Hestu and the inventory upgrades with the Korok Seeds works exactly the same as it does in Breath of the Wild, so we won't cover this too much in depth, but the first thing you need to know is that Hestu is found near the Lindor's Brow in the northwestish, sort of to the west of where Hyrule Castle is. When you go here, you'll find him. Now, I didn't actually record at this time as I was nowhere near my computer when I found him there, but that's where you find him. He'll have a little quest for you. You'll do that. He'll give you your first couple of inventory upgrades, and then he moves to Lookout Landing, which is where you will primarily find him after that point, and then you hand in your Korok Seeds to upgrade your weapons stash, your bow and shield stash, same as you would in Breath of the Wild. With these new abilities and being able to run like powered devices, upgrading your energy cells is a huge importance. In order to get a energy well, you'll first need Zonite, which you can then turn into crystallized charges, and then you trade in those crystallized charges for energy cells. It's kind of a complex process. So we'll start at the start of the process, which is with collecting Zonite. So you would have got some during your Great Sky Isle adventure, and mostly Zonite is found down under in the depths. Now, you'll find heaps of creatures here that'll drop them, but you'll also find different like deposits where you can pick up Zonite, which will respawn, so mark it on your map if you do want to go back to that location to collect more. Once you've got Zonite, you need to head to a forge, which you can then use at the forge to trade that in for the crystallized charge. Large Zonite will then trade for the larger crystallized charges, and then the normal ones like Zonite is 3 for 1 crystallized charge. You need 100 crystallized charge to get 1 energy well, which can take some time, but if you're going down into the depths often and you are specifically trying to upgrade these, you can definitely get there without too much effort. You'll also find charges in chests occasionally as well. Once you have collected 100 crystallized charge, you'll need to go to a crystal refinery, and the closest one or the best one to go to is the one at Lookout Landing, which is just right near there. And you go there, give them 100 crystallized charge, and they will pop out an energy well for you, which will increase like your batteries by 1/3. You can also increase your batteries by just like consuming a Zonite charge. It'll give you like an overcharge amount, or say if you don't have full batteries, then it will just like refill that. So say if you're, in the middle of the air, you just want that little bit of extra juice, you can do that. The last one is a bit of a spoiler, so we're going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to give you a spoiler-free version of this, and then I'm going to give you a spoiler version of this, okay? So the spoiler-free version of this is, I'm not going to tell you what the upgrade is. What I am going to tell you is that after you have completed 1 of the 4 temples, go back to Lookout Landing and talk to Joshua. She will give you a quest that will continue that quest chain that you initially started when you talk to her after you first get to Lookout Landing with that camera work in the depths when you first go down into the depths. But I won't say anything more about that, so you can either figure that out yourself, or I'll tell you the spoiler version right now. So what this will unlock is an ability called Autobuild. Now, if you don't want to wait until you have beaten 1 of the 4 temples, you can just go to the location in the depths at the Great Abandoned Central Mine. There's a couple of ways that you can get here. You can either just go down to the depths and like make your way there, or if you're above ground on the surface, you can just go down one of the like red holes, which will take you closer down to where that actual location is. Once you've reached the mines, there is a object for you to click on, the same as you would have got your other powers, and it will give you the Ultra Hand upgrade so you can auto build objects. And there's a little tutorial here that you'll go through, and then after that you'll have the ability unlocked. This is a really good quality of life ability because you can just continue to craft things that you have either previously crafted, or even learn like different schema stones, which will give you schematics on how to craft things. Like the fan plane, for example, is the first one you get there, but there are other ones of these which will teach you how to make these additional designs. It just makes that build process a little bit easier, especially when you're constantly having to build things or trying to build things. Like say if you want to fly around in an airplane, like you can just make it from this auto build so much simpler than having to try and build it or find these objects every single time that you want to build something. It just helps with that process, I've found. This won't break like the quest chain. If you then go back to talk to Joshua after you've done this, you'll just be able to tell her that you've already been there and like learned the secrets of this location. So you'll still get the quest and completion. It doesn't break anything. It's just you can go and get this ability really whenever. You don't have to wait until you've beaten 1 of the temples and gone and done that whole process. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is NorZZa, and I hope you have a great day.